how's it going, people? It is the Hoff here, coming through you through the power of the internet. So, today is the very first episode of Setup Showdown, where I'm going to be showcasing all of your hard work in your setup and builds. It's going to be going over your build, everything that's inside of your PC, your laptop, whatever you choose to use, along with the setup and all the accessories that make your theme go the way you desire. Everything that makes your build you. So, in that, let's get started. First up, we have Braden Fontaine. And in this setup, as you can see, he's got a nice wraparound corner desk that's pretty long. He's got it that it is a borrowed desk from work, air quotes, Rocket Raccoon, wink, wink. And on it, he has the homemade shelf, and then he has paired up his setup using a R7 1700 from AMD with the graphics card being an RX 470. Not sure on the brand. Let me see if we can get a closer look at the brand here, Sapphire. And then we got 16 gigs of G-Skill DDR4. We got a Corsair power supply 750. We have multiple SanDisk SSD of a 120, a 240, and a 480 paired up with a 1 terabyte hard drive for storage. And then in the front, we have a LG Blu-ray reader that is also a DVD CD writer. Then we got a Silverstone case. It's the KL06B case paired up with some Clips Pro Media 2.1 for audio, and then a Canon printer. All in all, I'd say the setup looks fairly clean. As you can see, he's got the drink there ready for his night of gaming with the Xbox controller and the mechanical keyboard setup, which he did not name. And he's got the nice long mouse pad to cut over his setup, having his keyboard and his mouse all looking nice and neat. And for some odd reason, in his photo, he decided to have cleaning products out, and that door could definitely use a touch up or two. But all in all, not a bad setup, just needs some paint going towards the door and walls, and then work on an overall theme for his build, and eventually upgrade the chair. As he even says, it's a generic chair for this build, but considering he got the desk pretty cheap, I'm pretty sure he got the chair just as cheap. But overall, a pretty fantastic build for something that was going for not too expensive. Next, we have the raccooning. So in this setup, we have a basic wooden desk, nothing fancy here. And then paired with it, we have the case being the Corsair Obsidian 450D, which has some good cable management in the back if you use it correctly. And inside of that case, we have the motherboard being the Asus Z170 Pro Gaming motherboard with a Intel i7-6700K processor that I would assume is overclocked, but I was not told in the description. And then there's also a Corsair all-in-one, what looks to be 240 radiator and water-cooled setup on it. And he has paired that with the GPU being the Gigabyte G1 Gaming GTX 1080, which is not a bad choice, at the time of this build. And for his storage of his operating system and crucial applications, he likes to use the SSD of the 850 Pro 256 gigabyte, which is exactly what I have in mind. And his hard drive is a Western Digital Red hard drive for storage. Doesn't say the size, and I can't tell from the pictures exactly what the size is, but it looks to be the 3.5 millimeter size hard drive, or 3.5-inch hard drive instead of the 2.5. And then he has paired that with a Cooler Master G750 for the power supply. And then the monitor on this setup is an Asus VG248QE, which is a 24-inch 1080p TN panel that is 144 Hz refresh rate and 1 millisecond for response time. The one mouse he's using on this setup is a Logitech G402 Fury FPS mouse for his gaming, and he has a Logitech G105 keyboard, and he has all that on top of his mouse pad setup. And then next to it is a Lenovo laptop that has its own wireless mouse and its own SteelSeries mouse pad. I really like this part as you can go ahead and take the what look to be Corsair headphones, start your gaming session, and you can have a whole nother laptop if you decide to stream that can monitor your stream. You can be the own mod of your stream if you don't have anyone out there, and you can do a lot of cool things while you're gaming using a completely different computer. So overall, I like that part of this setup. Now, I'm not too sure about this cable management here. I think some of the cables can be routed closer together so you can tie them up better and have more cables hidden behind the desk and have them run flush along the desk lines to show less cables, and take the cable that's hanging down and tape it underneath the desk and get just as many of those cables ran behind areas where they can be well hidden and less seen to provide better cable management without necessarily having to drill holes. Just use zip ties, 3M tape, or anything of the sort that will keep it out of the way. He has a nice pop figure here that I'm sure goes along with his theme or just something that he enjoys. There is a desk lamp for extra lighting, two unnamed speakers, and we have some office supplies next to the case. And then down below is the filing cabinet paired up with a basic office chair. Nothing spectacular on the office chair, but hey, I have a basic office chair. It gets the job done. Overall, this is a decent, clean build. The actual computer itself is a pretty decent beast for gaming. It should run everything you want at 1080p and even be able to handle certain things in 4K. So, overall, great job. Thank you for the submission. Last here, we have Metalvis. And with his theme, you get a live wallpaper here that has his wallpaper matching his RGB theme as shown here. And to go with that theme, he has the case of the Corsair Crystal 570X RGB. He's paired that with a motherboard of the Asus Maximus 9 Hero and went ahead and got the i7 7700K that he is overclocked to 5 gigahertz using a Corsair all-in-one H115i liquid cooler system, and has a 16 gig G-Skill Trident RGB RAM, which is fairly new, clocked at 2400 megahertz. Gotta love that RGB theme. Everything's gotta be RGB nowadays, it seems. For storage, he's using the Samsung NVMe M2 960 EVO at 500 gigabytes plus a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue hard drive for storage. And with this power supply, we get the Corsair RM 750X Gold that is full modular. For gear that goes with this nice build, we have the monitor being the Asus MG279Q, which is a 1440p, 144 hertz IPS monitor. Amazing looking monitor at 27 inches. I can't wait till I can upgrade to something like this. For a mouse, he is using the Logitech G900 Chaos Spectrum. Keeping with the RGB theme here on the keyboard, we get the Logitech G933 Artemis Spectrum. And for a mouse pad, he has a SteelSeries QCK. So for his setup, he said he wanted to keep everything RGB through most of it, getting as much RGB, and he keeps the system itself set on purple most of the time to be minimalistic and trying to keep everything clean and straight to the point with not too many distractions. And he also wants to keep everything as interesting as possible, which is why he uses the Planet and Dark Soul canvas art on the top. I appreciate the entry, and I'd like to say that in this theme, I am loving the fact that it is mostly RGB. The artwork accents are amazing, and looks to be like there's a lamp on the right side, and the case. I love the tempered glass with the look to see, and the fact that this one is actually coming from overseas by the look of the power connecting on the wall. That I'm not sure exactly where that's at, but I know that is not a US power adapter. I'm pretty sure that's somewhere over within Europe. And then we have a suit of armor guy here, and then we get the greenery plant on the left, and there is a gaming chair. I'm not sure which brand, if any brand, but this one I would say out of all is the better of the setups, having what looks to be an all-in-one printer for all of your needs for scanning, printing, and everything. This setup would be the one that I feel should win this, but I'm asking you guys which setup today wins this challenge. In all, I want to say thank you to Brayden, that raccooning, Metalvis for your submissions, and I would like to ask you, the viewer, to comment down below on these builds, and I will be leaving a comment myself on just the name of the person for each of these, and just give an upvote to which one you think is the best out of this episode. And if you would like to submit, I will be leaving the link to at the end of this video here for you to go ahead and click on the link that you will see on submissions for Setup Showdown. If you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you haven't already seen it, there is a Call of Duty giveaway that is also going to be shown here at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, don't forget to hit that like button.